This week on Tips and Tricks, 5 tips for Okami HD.
We'll chat with a very handsome mixer partner, TheRealGaffer.
And we'll play PUBG for an entire hour following the show.
All the time now. All this and more on this week's Tips and Tricks. So excited for the show. It's so good to be back. It's so good to be back.
Welcome back, man.
Thank you. Shout out to them leaving Josh in the name.
Yeah,
of the cold
I know,
open.
right?
It almost
crazy.
hurts.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to Tips and Tricks, the #1 show on the internet. This is our tagline, as proclaimed by our parents.
Our mothers. Specifically our mothers. My dad would never give me any support.
No.
I'm Ethan Rothamel.
And I'm Malik Prince.
And this is the show that helps you get the most out of your Xbox, Windows, and Mixer experience.
That's right. We'll give you tips on the latest features and tricks on tackling them new games.
A lot of news today.
A lot of news today. How you feeling, by the way?
I'm feeling great. Just back from PAX South.
Yeah,
it was incredible.
I was so jealous. I was like, oh, look at Ethan having so much fun. You were dancing up a storm. We're sorry about your cats. You were posing for pictures in the PUBG mixer.
It was fun. It was fun. Thanks everyone that came out to that. We had an incredible time. We'll chat a little bit more about it in a bit. How's your day, everybody? How's chat? Thanks for coming in, guys. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you were at PAX South. I know we had a lot of people there. It was incredible.
Yeah, the pictures are
a lot of people there.
exactly a lot.
I didn't count them by hand. I don't, but
who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
All right, let's jump right into the news. Let's start off with Awesome Games Done Quick. It has concluded, and it broke last year's record, raising over $2.26 million for charity.
I didn't realize that. That's incredible.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, congrats to them. That's always a crazy marathon. It's always super fun to watch people that are just insanely better at video games than I am.
Yeah, oh, they're so talented.
Yeah.
I can't even finish games at normal pace, and they're able to fly through the games like super quick and complete them. It's really impressive.
It's sickening.
Yeah, what is a game that I could complete? Maybe like, I don't know, like Uno? That doesn't count.
You can't complete like the fastest time for a game of Uno.
Yeah, maybe I could try that. I don't know. I'm just so untalented.
Unbelievable, dude. A lot of betas coming up in the next couple weeks, right? Sea of Thieves closed beta coming January 24th through the 29th for Sea of Thieves alpha testers and pre-orders. So if you played before December 1st, you're in, and if you pre-ordered the game, you are in. You will be able to stream that, guys. We're talking co-stream 4 people cruise.
That's right. You mentioned it last week. There's no better game for co-streaming than that game. That is.
I don't think so.
I'm so excited to play.
Yeah.
I just hope I'm good at it.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Games like that and PUBG have lent themselves so well to co-streaming, and it's I can't wait to finally get to stream Sea of Thieves. And also, so many of you, I was fortunate enough to be in the alpha. I've played hundreds of hours. I'm a huge fan, and I'm really excited that you guys get to see how far they've come, because it's been an incredible journey.
Insane, and I love games that take the players along of the development cycle journey with them. And so that was on your most played games of 2017, the alpha. So that's
I know.
You're super pumped for the game.
And also, I want to reiterate, it wasn't an incredible journey. It was an incredible voyage.
Oh, there you
You're
go.
welcome,
You gotta say voyage. Yeah. Okay. Good. Very good.
Thank you.
All right. So that's coming. I'm excited.
Yes.
Hopefully, we'll do something on the show.
Exactly.
Around that.
We should play some. I'm sure LFG and stuff. We'll be playing a lot of
There
that.
we go.
Not only that, but that same weekend, Darwin Project open beta for Steam.
Darwin Project. Yeah. So this game has some interesting mixer integration, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. If you went to PAX South, you'd know that we had Darwin Project at the booth. We had a shoutcast the whole time. There's solos and there's duos, but there's also director mode, which is going to be huge for streamers. Like, you have one person who's the director. It's just what you think. You have spectator mode essentially, but not only that, you get to manipulate the map. Very Hunger Games-esque. You can drop nukes. You can freeze a zone that causes people to freeze to death. I got to play it. It was fantastic. The director mode was hilarious to be a part of. He had the live audience make decisions. He had mixer chat make decision. It has direct mixer interactive.
So good.
That's really good. It's very awesome. And even in the game, when you command mixer, when you send something to your chat, the mixer logo appears on the game. It goes wow, and it's so sick. But the game itself is great. You have to actually tear down trees and kill deer for leather. You have to and you can upgrade your armor, your axe.
Okay.
You actually have to make arrows so you can run out of arrows.
So it's kind of like Fortnite, a mix between Fortnite and
survival. It's like a sped up survival game where you're actually crafting, and you can get tracked. So it's a snowy level, so people can actually follow your footprints. And you can if I come across a broken tree, I can inspect the tree, and it'll be like, this tree was cut down by Malik 5 minutes ago. Yeah, so it gives you an idea of where was this person? How long ago was someone else here? It is a blast. Highly recommend it. It's gonna be a great week next week.
That's next week?
Yeah, that's next weekend. So right after the Sea of Thieves closed.
The closed beta is 24th through the 29th. What date?
Yeah, dude,
I don't even know.
Next week, man.
Jeez.
I know.
Oh my God. I got to get a calendar.
Darwin Project.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah, the Darwin Project. It is sick.
Code name you guys were using.
No, that
that's
is the
the
name
game.
of the game, Darwin Project. The premise is you're all prisoners, and you have to kill each other, and the last prisoner gets their freedom. So you start off all in orange jumpsuits, and you have a basic axe and a bow and arrow, and you can put a dead animal on your back, and it keeps you warm longer. You can
pleasant.
upgrade your boots to run faster. Pleasant. It's a pleasant game.
It
Yeah.
was only a dystopian society where that was televised.
Oh my gosh, can you believe
The
it?
Hunger Games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
If you're new to the channel, that disembodied voice you hear is Ed.
Ed.
Good old Ed. So
I wonder if we have an emote for him yet.
we should. Why don't we have an emote?
I know
Ed,
someone
come
made
on.
one at some point. We just haven't uploaded it.
Got it,
maybe.
okay. So we
Anyway,
got that.
moving on.
You can't.
That's too bad.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
Not only that, you know, we're on the subject of battle royale games.
Ooh, okay.
Fortnite just tweeted, I think today, the updated map coming this week
There
to
it
Fortnite.
is.
Take a look at that, guys. You'll notice it's extremely similar.
can't see me.
You'll see a little bit of differences here and there. But if you take a look right below Loot Lake, Tilted Towers, that's going to be huge buildings with skyscrapers. It looks rad as hell. Below that, Shifty Shafts, which I can only imagine is like an underground mine. What else is new? Moisey Mire looks like it's gotten some serious upgrades. But I love that the map, like the geography of the map looks different, right? Like this is way darker.
Yeah.
There's dirt here. Snobby Shores, that's new too. That looks like
Interesting.
high
White Castle?
mansion.
White Castle?
There's a White Castle? That would be incredible.
Yeah, I need a White Castle. This is another fault of Seattle. It has no White Castle,
know.
no Dunkin' Donuts. What is happening?
What is
Anyway,
happening?
Back to this game. I know, like for the first few weeks when this update comes out, everyone's gonna be landing here.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna be landing here in the new areas. So
Yeah,
watch out.
exactly. It's going to be a massacre. Actually, that's new too. My God.
Okay.
No, so if you want easy games, head back over to the other area because no one's going to be there. It's
Yeah.
going to be great, man.
So they recently announced also Fortnite over 3 million concurrent, I believe, but I know they have 40 million total players of Fortnite Battle Royale.
Unbelievable.
Fact check me if I'm wrong, tell me, but that's
Unbelievable.
insane.
That is insane.
That's insane. So
And yeah, clearly battle royale games because PUBG's doing great, 3 million on Xbox.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
I got to be honest, I haven't been able to play Fortnite since PUBG came out. It's been so addicting.
yeah, and that's the thing for me.
And I love Fortnite.
Yeah, I know. And before Fortnite came out, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna love PUBG as much as Fortnite because I just thought it was so. It brought different things to the table, like the building
Right.
and all those things.
Right.
But playing
different
PUBG.
enough.
Different enough, and
Yeah.
playing PUBG, it's hard for me to imagine going back to this game.
And I feel
don't
the
know.
same way actually about Darwin Project playing. It is like that adds its own value that like I'm gonna love it, but I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not gonna take me away from PUBG.
Yeah.
Or even I feel like I'll be able to play them all.
Right.
It's just like a new genre that's just so rad right now.
It's gonna be so good.
I love it.
The space is getting crowded for battle royale.
I know
so I'm
it's not gonna be this good forever. There's gonna be
Yeah.
VR games making the taking the stage that are just not gonna be as good. Like it's inevitable at this point.
All right, so let's move on. This holds a special place in my heart. All right, so if you remember the original Xbox, you remember the behemoth of a controller, codenamed the Duke. Guess what? The reboot is happening, made by Hyperkin. It's going to be super oversized. I think it's to scale. Here it is.
Yeah,
a
look at
picture of
that
it. Beautiful. It has an OLED screen in the center.
It does?
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
God.
a screen. It's going to be $70, and they're shooting for a late March launch.
So what do the black and white buttons do?
So I think this one actually has triggers up here. So they may be just a redundancy of the.
So you could do instead of left and right bumper, you could use black and
If you
white.
want to,
oh
yeah.
my God, that is
That's
so
so good.
rad. Yeah, give me that G Flow.
I will be buying that.
my
I
God.
said this on Twitter, but Xbox is no longer like the new kid at the table. This is like a brand that people have grown up with. I always say it. So like I was 10 years old when the console came out. So it means a lot for gamers who grew up with Xbox as their first
of
real
nostalgia.
console. Yeah, to finally go back and actually be able to play on the controller that started it all.
Yeah.
So excited.
Cavi in chat says it looks like my belly after a night of Texas barbecue. 100% true. He was there. He was at PAX South. I see a couple people in chat that were there. Comic
Yeah.
Burrito says he met me at South. Burrito, good to see you.
There we go.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
we
so
missed
jealous.
you, Malik.
It's okay. I just cried the whole. I was looking at the pictures on Twitter, just crying. My dog was looking at me weird.
like a soft sob.
I'm
you know?
so happy for you guys. But I'm so sad for me.
Bittersweet, man.
Yeah.
We'll see you at the next one.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
hopefully. All right.
It
So
was a good time. It was a good time. Everyone that came, thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
coming out and supporting
Yeah.
the platform.
so good. I love conventions like that. So I'll be getting one. I assume you'll be getting one, maybe.
A Duke? Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
And I want to stream that like exclusively, like at PUBG with the Duke.
Oh,
my
man,
God.
It's gonna feel so good. It's gonna feel so good.
yeah.
All right. So let's move on. We have a few new backwards compatible games.
Good ones. Some really good ones.
That's right. So here they are. We have Sniper Elite. You're a fan.
I'm a huge fan of Sniper
So
Elite.
Stabs.
I'm a huge fan. Yeah, it's Tabs in the background. Sniper Elite was so good. You know, following the bullet was a very cool idea that like some other games are adopting now. But like, what a fun take on a sniper game, and like the ability to mask your shots with like artillery and explosions. Like, it was just fun, man.
Right.
I've played them all. I've been a huge fan since 1. It's been incredible.
I've watched these games, but I haven't actually played them.
They're
Is
hard.
there a story in
Yes.
these games? Okay.
Yes.
Is it a good
but the story doesn't really make sense.
Okay.
No, it's
Okay.
it's almost like a new. They don't really necessarily go in order, and they don't necessarily
Oh.
like. It's just he's just an elite soldier, and he happens to just do everything.
Got
Like
it.
you
It's
kill
just
Hitler
nonsense.
in like 3 of them.
Oh, okay.
As like a bonus mission. So but it's still fun.
Fair
Like,
enough.
it does not take away.
That's
it's
all
just
that
like
matters.
I don't know. The story's not necessarily great, but the level design and the gameplay is so good that you don't really care.
Good. Okay.
You know what
okay.
I mean?
Sounds good. Sounds good. Then we have Far Cry 2. I jumped in Far Cry with 3, so I never played 2. So this is a perfect
2's good.
opportunity if you haven't played 2 to jump in and kind of get it.
I think that's really they found their groove. 2 feels the most like you played 3. You said
Yeah.
it's that gameplay in
Okay.
Africa. So this
Got
one
it.
takes place, I believe, in Africa, and
Okay.
and this is where they really found their calling. That's another pun for you.
There you go. Okay, I didn't get that one though.
Well, like
Calling?
I don't know, like an animal, like a call.
Oh, okay.
Is that bad?
That's
okay.
a stretch. I think that's a bit of
Whatever.
a stretch, but it's fine. I appreciate what you tried to do there.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you.
course.
And then Driver, of course, similar to GTA, but like it
Oof,
was
but way
much
worse?
heavier focus on driving.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it was really good.
Man, those
I don't know if
I
I played
remember
San
the age in which that games tried so hard to beat GTA. You had like this game, you had True Crime.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember
Streets of LA?
Streets of LA.
I
yeah.
love that game, though.
You had Saints Row the original, which tried very hard to
Yeah.
mimic, and then they were like,
No, let's
screw
be
it. Yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah. What was the other one? Scarface.
Scarface,
The
yeah.
world is yours.
So many games, and they're all gone now. So
I know.
only one stands. So these are the back compact games that you can check out. I believe starting today.
Yeah, it's a good set.
All right, so Forza Horizon 3's Xbox One X update is out. It just came out yesterday, so this is native 4K, none of that checkerboarding that you see in other games on other systems. It is native 4K.
It is.
I know, whatever, who cares?
It's fine. No, it's good.
And it's a free
beautiful.
update, like all Xbox One X updates. It is free. It looks fantastic, HDR.
Yeah.
This is one of the most stunning games you will ever find, racing through Australia. It is just, and this was on one of your top 5 most played games of 2017.
It was, yeah.
Which is
3
crazy.
was. I like arcade racers. I suck at realistic racers. I
Yeah.
just can't. I don't want to shift. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I love Mario Kart. You know, or I love Burnout. I want to see crazy explosions and beautiful
Yeah.
graphics. And so that's what attached me to this one. Is like it was stunning in 1080.
Right, it was.
Yeah.
It was. So I love the racing, but I kind of just love feeling like I'm a youth and all the I don't know.
Youth.
That sounded so old, but like but the festival and the music, I just like, can this be a real thing? I don't think any insurance companies will allow that to be
No,
real.
probably
Where
not.
like just fast cars driving around where civilians are.
One island in the middle of nowhere where
Yeah.
everyone can just do whatever they want.
Probably not going to happen.
No.
Oh well, I can dream. All right.
And you will keep dreaming.
I will keep dreaming. All right, let's move on. We have another piece of news. We have, since last, and this is indicative of the effort that Bluehole is going to make this Xbox game awesome. PUBG has come out with another update since our last episode, and it's patch number 4. So, there you go.
Oh, look at that picture.
Look at that picture. That picture doesn't show anything about these updates, but it's fine. Pistols have been removed from the Y button's weapon rotation and grouped with melee weapons. Players can now equip pistols by pressing up on the D-pad.
It's a huge addition. Like
Yes.
I was to the point where I would constantly drop a
Yeah.
pistol as soon as I picked up 2 weapons because I
Exactly.
didn't want to cycle through.
It's really
so
bad.
Very smart move.
Yeah, so many games I've lost. Well, I guess I've lost them for many reasons, including being poor at the game. But so I will blame it on the fact that I was cycling through my weapons in a really intense moment. And I pulled out my useless pistol.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is still useless. So
Yeah.
I'm still not gonna keep it because I don't have time for it.
No, ain't nobody got time
You
for
know,
that.
I got time for that.
No, not at all. I totally get it.
Yeah.
They've been really listening to the community in terms of updates. Like we say this all the time, but I've never seen an ID game get updated this fast, this
Yeah.
often. Like that is crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this last night. I was like, they could have released this game, a few months down the line as a 1.0, but I think we would have been way further behind in updates. Like, it's so
Well,
good that
you need a test. Right?
Yeah, and exactly, and the game would have come out, and we would still have player feedback. I love that, they put it in game preview, and we can get this player feedback, make the game better, and so that when it does come out in its full version, people who didn't want to jump in can play it in
Yeah.
its great state. So I love that. I wish other consoles did game preview. because some games, like No Man's Sky, come out and they're just not great.
No, I know what you mean. Well, although PC does have, like Steam has game
That's
preview.
right. Steam does. Steam
It's
does,
a
that's right.
double-edged sword, right? Because
Yeah.
some games, especially with indie developers, they'll stay in it too long and then they piss people off.
Sure.
And so it's a whole thing. But it's always been a great way to support someone
Yeah.
you believe in, right? Or a company that you love. And so this is a great example of that. And people always forget that PUBG was horrible on
Yeah.
PC when it first came out.
That's
like
right.
it was so buggy. So you
buggy.
got to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're going to update it. They care. I was fortunate enough to meet some new members or some members of their team that I'd never met before at PAX South.
Nice.
They were all wonderful, passionate people. Like they really do care.
Nice.
It's awesome.
And we have a segment a little bit later on.
A little bit later about a little
we
bit
got
more.
a shout out from Aaron Greenberg in his Newswire post. Who, by the way, he said he's a fan of the show. So
What, Aaron?
he might
No
have been
way.
just saying that to be nice.
Yeah.
But I choose to believe he's actually a fan.
Aaron, if you're listening, those are kind words, my friend.
Yes.
And I use friend loosely because we've talked a couple times.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely awesome. Okay, cool. So a few more things. I guess the other big part of this update is that there's a new preset, Type B, to the Xbox One version of the game where it removes basically the way you can aim down
Yeah,
sights.
so you can toggle right now. If you on the normal controller on PUBG, you tap left trigger, you aim down sights. Now on Type B, you have to hold trigger, very traditional.
Yeah.
And it keeps the same format where you aim
Yeah.
down sights. But I can't remember what hold breath becomes.
I don't know what hold breath is.
We have
if
Wedge in
anybody
here.
know. Yeah.
Wedge is in here. You worked on the controls. Wedge, what is hold your breath on Type B again? Is it the same button?
Yeah, it's hold breath is still LB. So you're right. So wait, I thought hold LB is also like shoot, like in third person. Is that right? I don't know.
How do you do third person Type B? We haven't played with the controls yet. Maybe we should do that on the second part of the show because we're going to be playing for an hour after the show. We should just try Type B, like try and play a game in Type B and see what happens.
I tried it. I went back to Type A, but I think it's
Right
great that you
bumper.
have options. Okay, got it.
Right bumper is third person, so you hold right bumper. Okay, so it's basically bumper, like it's.
Oh, okay.
It's basically the claw.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay, that's
I
actually
was
pretty
confused.
nice.
Listen, I never learned my left from my right, so it's fine. That's probably what I meant.
My other problem is like I've been playing games forever with one finger on each, and like I have friends that are so much better at gaming than me, and they do this, they do the two, and,
Oh, I
and they're
can't do
always like,
that.
you got to do it, you got to do it. But you can't if you just practice, and
Yeah.
you'll be better eventually. Like it's
Yeah.
such a more efficient way to reach those things, but I still don't.
I'm not going to do that.
I know.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Oh my gosh! A lot of speaking of which, we got a lot of PUBG masters in here. Like
Yeah.
Cabby, far better than I am.
Cabby's so good. Cabby, you need to
Split
come
the
back on
Wig.
the show because I need some tips from Cabby.
Yeah.
I
Split the
watch his
Wig's one of the
streams.
best on Xbox too.
I've seen him on the leaderboard. I was like, I've seen that name
a
before.
monster.
I'm pretty sure we had it in 3 streams to watch at least. And so, yeah.
And Wedge has killed me before, so shout out to Wedge.
man.
Also, Cabby, now that we are not in the same building, I can tell you this. I'm the one that killed you in Darwin Project, so I'd like to apologize because you just happened to spawn next to me, and I felt so bad. I felt so bad, dude.
He knows.
You know? Oh, well, then
Okay,
you're just a very nice
okay.
person.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go. He's going to get back at you at one point, sometime down in the future.
What if it was just like next time he sees me, he just punches me in the face?
like, what'd you do that for? Yeah, no, that'd be great.
Yeah. Hashtag Mixer Love. Wham!
That's awesome. So those are your news updates. Lots of news.
Lots of news this week.
Yeah, man, it's kicking back up. New Year's is here, and the news is coming out quick. I don't know how. I was trying to phrase that. I was like, what am I trying to say?
You're fine.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Next up, a classic game brought back to life.
Oh, a very good one. Kind of like the main character.
Yeah,
Back to life.
you bet. Here's 5 tips for Okami HD. For those who played the original Okami, you already know how great this game is. Now with the release of Okami HD, fans new and old can enjoy this beautiful story in high def. Okami is Japanese for wolf, but the kanji characters used in this game title are pronounced differently and mean great deity. It's a play on words, so you play as, you guessed it, a god reincarnate as a white wolf named Amaterasu. An evil you vanquished 100 years ago has returned, so you've been brought back to deal with it. Armed with a magical paintbrush, it's your duty to save the world and return color to the land. So here are 5 tips to help you get started in Okami HD. Tip number 1, know your gear. You'll spend the first part of the game with just one weapon, Divine Retribution. This weapon is classified as a reflector and it looks like a shield. It also acts like one when it's equipped as a sub-weapon. There are 3 types of weapons in this game, reflectors, rosaries, and glaives. And you'll be able to equip 2 weapons at the same time, one as your main weapon and one as your sub. When you equip a reflector as your main weapon, you get a balanced mid-ranged attack. Rosaries are strings of beads that act like a whip when you set them as your main weapon.
or bullets when equipped as your sub. They're the weakest of the 3 classes but are great for long-range attacks. Glaives are your melee weapons, and while glaives may be slower, they're the most powerful of the weapon types. Throughout the game, you'll have the chance to find 5 weapons of each weapon type, so experiment with different main and sub-weapon combinations to find which works best with your playstyle. Tip number 2, think ink. There are 13 brush gods in Okami, and each one will teach you a different celestial brush technique that can be used in or out of battle. Besides these techniques, you can also use your brush to blind enemies with ink. You can even change the thickness of your brush stroke. Use X for a thin stroke, which is useful for the trickier techniques, or use Y for a thick stroke, which is great for techniques like rejuvenation. Tip number 3, get that glow. You may occasionally notice glowing spots on the ground. This indicates that something's buried below, so to dig it up, tap Y repeatedly. If the spot is green, this will release a clover in desperate need of some help. Use the bloom brush technique to revive it. If the spot is white, there's likely an item hiding there. Any items you dig up or collect can be found in your fan menu. Consumables are stored in the first tab of the menu under Tools. Items like vases, statues, or jewelry can be found in the fan menu under Treasure Tome and can be sold to merchants for a nice chunk of change. Tip number 4, Devil Gates. These creepy little shacks transport you to a monster lair and initiate a battle. Once you defeat the monsters here, you'll earn some money, but you'll also purify the area, allowing for plants, animals, and other good things to return to the land. Those floating scrolls will initiate a battle too, so if you're not ready to fight, be careful when passing them because they'll chase you down. If you're accidentally pulled into battle, don't worry, there's a way out. Look for a glowing crack in the barrier. Attack it, then jump through it to make your escape. And for tip number 5, we've got some rapid fire tips. The default camera controls are technically inversed, which can feel funny to some people, so if it's not your thing, be sure to change it in the camera settings. When running, Amaterasu's speed will increase over time, but if you want to jumpstart your speed, do a dash. Visit the dojos and fork up the money to learn new techniques as often as you can. These are incredibly useful and will no doubt help you in battle. Praise is earned when you restore nature or feed animals. You can then use praise to increase the power of your divine attributes. And lastly, this game does not autosave, so save at the reflection mirrors every chance you get. Okami's familiarity, comforting story, and dreamy adventure will lull you to another world. While the character voices haven't gotten any easier to sit through, which you can mute in the sound settings screen, the lovable bits of Okami have endured and improved. When it was originally released, Okami's art style was groundbreaking, and now seeing it in HD only enhances the beauty of this game. So relive this classic tale the way it deserves with Okami HD.
Unbelievable artwork in that game and unbelievable voice work in that VO.
I was
dude.
gonna say, I was like, he's not gonna mention my voice work. How
I will.
rude. No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I will. All right. Moving on, guys. We have a segment that we do quite often. We're going to be using Skype to bring in a mixer partner. And today we got the.Real.Gaffer. There he is. Yo. What's up, man? Good to see you.
How's it going?
Yeah.
It's going
It's
great.
well, now that you're here.
Aw.
Yeah, see? Look at that.
That's
I'm
good.
such a nice
You're
guy.
such a flirt,
I'm
Malik.
such a nice guy.
Now, before we jump in, can you give our viewers a quick rundown of who you are?
Yeah, my name's TheRealGaffer. I've been a streamer on Mixer for over a year now, basically.
Yeah.
Back when it was Beam. I'm a PC gamer only, and I play all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you play
Variety gaming.
Variety gaming, yeah.
There you
So you
go.
play a lot. So what are you playing lately?
The latest game I've been playing a lot of is a game called They Are Billions, which is it's an RTS, real-time strategy, where you have to defend against like hordes and hordes and hordes of zombies. It's like a steampunk kind of theme. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
That actually sounds
Nice.
awesome. I'm a big RTS fan, although I suck at them. Like, I will never play competitive.
Dude,
Like,
me too,
I love those
me too.
games, but I just always play computers because I just can't make that jump.
Play
It's
the, you
terrifying.
play the computer?
I play AI. I will not.
Ouch.
Whatever, man.
You gotta try. You gotta try. If you don't try, you won't get better, Ethan. That's what I like to say.
like
I
a
don't follow my
teacher
own
over
advice
here.
though. That's awesome, and I think one of the great parts about playing on PC is you get to play so many games that won't ever make it to console. So I'm super jealous of that. So this is obviously tips and tricks, and we like to kind of give people. Like, I love hearing the stories of how people got into streaming. So can you tell us a bit about how you got into streaming?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I started over on am I allowed to say the name of the place? The big
Yeah,
purple
Sure,
tee?
yeah,
Yes.
go for it. Go
So,
for it.
yeah, I started over on Twitch like 2 years ago. It was just something I fancied doing. I started with a game called The Long Dark, which was early access for a long time.
Yeah.
I played a hell of a lot of that game, and it was the perfect game for me because when you first start streaming, obviously no one knows who you are, and you've got no one to talk to, you've got no audience. So for me, it was a perfect game because I could sit there and I could just talk about what I was doing, why I was going to do it. I'm going here because I'm going to pick up these things and trying to get these things. And I think that's an important part of streaming when you first start, because it gives people an impression of your personality and stuff because you're talking, and you can throw in humor and all that kind of stuff. And if you've got no one to talk to, then you can just talk to yourself. So for me, that game was perfect. And I played that probably for about 6 months, although I wasn't streaming a great deal. And then I heard about Mixer with the Microsoft transition, acquisition, whatever, words. And I came over and it just seemed like a really cool atmosphere. And it just went from there.
Well, thanks, man. That means a lot. I'm glad that you were motivated to come over because I know, like, we strive for. Oh my God, we strive for community. Can you stop flashing the audience?
Me too.
Oh,
There you go. Where's yours? Mr.
I'm just
Mixer
kidding.
employee.
Do you guys? That's fair. Do you? I have a hoodie. I'm curious. Have you been back to The Long Dark since it's come out? Have you tried the story now that the storyline's out and anything like that? Have you given that a shot?
Yeah, dude. When the story came out, I played it again. I played through that on stream. That was so big for me because I'd played the game for such a long time and I'd watched the whole production of the game from when it first came out. And they had a lot of, well, they didn't have a lot, but they had a few stupid ideas. And for them to go through those, get past that, and then make this incredible game.
Yeah.
For that to then have a story added onto it, although the story's not finished yet, playing through that was
chapter.
like it was super. Yeah, it was two out of I think 5 chapters they're going to do.
Right.
But yeah, it was super fun to go through that.
That's really
Nice.
cool.
And we talked about it earlier. This is what's so awesome about game preview and early access is the gamers almost feel like they're part of the game.
Most
They
definitely.
have a really strong connection with the game. So I love hearing that. That's awesome. I actually tried The Long Dark a long time ago. And
long time ago, huh?
Okay, that was unintentional. You didn't have to bring that pun in there. But yeah, it was very interesting. And so I'm excited to hear that there's a story because I love stories in games. So.
Yeah. We do have a question from chat.
Oh, okay.
What is your favorite part of streaming, The Real Gaffer?
I mean, all of it, really. I mean, what part of it don't I enjoy? I'm passionate about games, and that's why I started streaming. I love playing games all the time. And I remember when back in school, I used to just talk about games all the time. People would sometimes be like, is that all you have to talk about, Chris? It's just like, you just talk about games all the time. It's like, yeah, I know, I love them. So moving into streaming was just like, it was a natural thing for me because I could just talk about games. But then since I've been on Mixer and I've discovered the community here and the great audience that this place brings, the whole package has just been great. It's been great for me.
That's awesome.
Nice,
I definitely know that feeling because I'm always like talking to my dad about games, and he's always just like, "Yeah,"
What?
and it goes right to his phone. Oh, sure. Love multiplayer.
Yeah.
No one cares, Ethan.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and I just love hearing the word community. It's my favorite part about Mixer, honestly. So you mentioned community, and part of that is the people who watch you, but also streamers watch other streamers.
Yeah.
Are you watching any other streamers? And if so, who?
Yeah, of course. When I first came to Mixer, one of the first streamers I watched was Bizzo Mephisto.
Oh, nice.
And I still watch him today. He's been one of my favorite streamers since I've been here. And I joined the Shed community, which is a great community of streamers. And I think if any of you guys want to find a good team to watch, I would definitely recommend the Shed. We got a lot of PC gamers in there as well, and I think with the sort of there's a huge wash of obviously Xbox gamers with the platform being on Xbox. People sometimes come in and say, "Oh wow, I didn't realize people played PC games on the platform." And I'd say the Shed's a good team to check out. There's a lot of PC gamers in there.
It's good to know. We hear that a
But
lot.
yeah, Bizzo Mephisto. Sorry, Chaos Mole, one of my favorites.
Okay.
.neb, Cutie Patootie. Yeah, there's a whole handful of people out
Nice.
there that
That's
I
awesome.
enjoy watching.
We get that a lot too, by the way. There are a lot of people at
don't
even
know.
PAX South. They're like, "Oh, is this the Xbox streaming platform?" It's like,
No.
no. Like, yes, of course, our audience is here in Xbox rules,
Yeah.
but we play everything.
Plays
We love
everybody.
everything. I
Yeah.
know. We had a Switch in the partner lounge and we were playing Just Dance.
Yes,
you know
those
what I mean?
moves were.
Yeah, you
There
saw
was
the
something.
video?
There was something.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm actually going to be streaming later this month for the first time ever. Can you give me any tips? I know you mentioned earlier making practice talking to yourself. Don't worry, I do that on my own time, even when I'm not streaming. It's great. Can you give me some other tips? Any other tips for when I actually do make that commitment and start streaming?
What else would I say? I mean, just be friendly with people that come in to chat. But yeah, honestly, I think the talking to yourself thing is actually a really important one, and being able to get your sort of personality across. Because there's something about I like to browse through and check out channels. And sometimes you'll pop into a channel and obviously it'll be someone playing a game and they won't be saying anything. And you're like, do I want to talk or do I want to? And sometimes you just go to the next channel. So I'd say, just get a cam, talk and play games that you're passionate about. Play the games that you want to play.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily play the games that are popular. Play the games that you're passionate about and that you can talk about.
That's sound advice. And in fact, that actually piggybacks onto one other question from chat. What game has frustrated you the most to play on stream?
Ooh.
Like
a good
maybe to the
question.
point where you because I know when I was streamed, like there were games where I'm like, I'm done. Like I'm done for the day. This is garbage. You know what I mean?
Honestly, They Are Billions is that sort of game because it's really unforgiving.
Yeah.
You can, because it's an RTS and you set up sort of like lines of defense and all that kind of stuff. But the way the game works is that even if one zombie sneaks through, if it hits one of your houses, the house turns into zombies and that spreads out and then it's just wildfire. So you could spend 2-3 hours playing a match. One zombie sneaks through and it ruins the entire game.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I just want to
God.
flip the table.
I can see how that's a bit stressful.
Jeez, I had no idea. I really want to play this game now. I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
I'm like interested to go home and
It's
try
cool.
it.
It's very
Yeah.
cool.
Nice.
Awesome. Good looking out.
So you mentioned that you haven't seen too many of our episodes. So this question will take you by surprise. It's our standard tips and tricks question. So I hope you are ready. All right, here we go. If you could, I
gets so excited.
I
He
like
gets-
building up.
I know,
and
but
it's
it's-
like a letdown each time. It's
No, it's
fine
not.
for me at least. All right, so if you could invite 3 video game characters over to dinner, who would they be and why?
Three
Mm-hmm.
video game characters. I'd probably say, my favorite 2 characters, or one character, but he's got a good mate, would probably be Sonic and Knuckles.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I think that'd be pretty cool to hang around with, get some chili dogs, that kind of thing. Who would my third be? I don't know, maybe, how about Adam Jensen from Deus Ex? 'Cause
Deus
he's got,
Ex?
Interesting. Okay, that's
Yeah,
an
yeah.
interesting choice.
Gosh, and they all can
Maybe
outrun you,
you
so
could-
they could rob your house and bail.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
That's what I was gonna say. Like Sonic and Knuckles, that seems a bit disruptive. You're like, oh, the bathrooms are over there, and they dash to the bathroom and ruin everything in your house. I'm like,
Come on, man.
Yeah, come on.
I just cleaned up. Anyway, why would you actually have them at dinner?
Yeah.
We had our own idea.
I think Adam Jensen would be pretty cool because maybe I could get hold of some augmentations or something. He's coming back from the future,
Yeah.
so there's potential there. There's potential.
Yeah. You'd like serve him some queso and he'd be like, I never asked for this.
Yeah.
Because that's
Hey,
so uncharacteristic.
What's with the attitude? Yeah,
What's with the attitude, guy? I'm serving you dinner.
exactly.
No, that's good. I like it. I think that's actually a pretty good.
That's a good list.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had. Have we had Sonic?
We've had Sonic,
We
never
have.
Knuckles,
Never
and never
Knuckles.
Adam Jensen.
Yeah, never Adam Jensen. Okay,
Yeah, that's
I
pretty
like
cool,
that
man.
list. I like it a lot.
All right, so finally, where and when can people watch your streams, man?
So I stream 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock GMT, which is 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock EST, and that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then on the weekends I stream from 4 o'clock GMT onwards.
Nice.
There we go.
That's a lot of streaming, man.
A lot of streaming. I can't wait to join you in the streaming.
He's never gonna do it, but
I will. Anyway, the real Gaffer, thank you so much for stopping by.
thanks, man.
Give it up.
Let's give it up for him. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll
See you around,
next
man.
year.
Oh, that was a great interview.
Yeah, that was a great interview.
Really, and,
I love the accent. I'm a
always say
big
that.
accent person because I love accents, man. Is there a problem with that, Ethan?
no, there's not. There's not. There's not.
That was very aggressive. Sorry, I
It
didn't
was
mean
very
to be so
aggressive and
hostile.
very high
I'm
pitched.
sorry.
Like, excuse me, is there a problem with that?
Oh, that was my Halo troll voice.
Really?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Catch me on Halo. It's really interesting. All right, it's time for our top 5 lists.
Ooh, something we do all the time. All right, so let's talk about this week's top 5 paid games, guys. Number 5, Cuphead still on the list.
Cuphead.
That is so rad.
There you
That
go.
is so rad.
Yeah. I mean, we've said everything there is to say about Cuphead. Fantastic game. Pick it up if you haven't. You may regret it because it's very hard.
You may cry.
But it's a quality game. Yeah.
And in the same vein of difficulty, number 4, Rocket League.
All right.
Also very difficult to get very good and competitive at.
That's the thing. So
Yeah.
there are games where you can play and you can have fun, and then at a certain point, the players just get too good, and so you can't play it against like anybody else because
No.
they're just so good.
Yeah, they are.
I can't do any of the aerial tricks. I'm poor at the game. I'm
It's just
poor.
it's repetition, man. That's how it is. It's all you just play enough, you get good. But yes, there's a steep learning curve for Rocket League once you hit a point. That is for sure.
That's right. All right. So number 3 is Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Wow, still on the list, doing well. I think people are starting to, get over all the drama and actually just appreciate
Just play
the
the
great
game.
core gameplay because the core gameplay is fantastic.
Yeah.
And so it's always sad to see people not buy it because of the news. But
Yeah, and which sucks
really
because when you think about the amount of people who work on games, like, and those people are never like involved with the decisions,
Right.
It just sucks because they've poured. Honestly, these games take a long time to develop, and so it sucks when that happens. But I think everyone should look past that and just give the game a shot. Don't get too wrapped up into news.
There you go. That's true.
All right, so number 2 is Call of Duty World War
Look
II.
at that. AXKXR called it. I don't know if you got some inside track or what, but perfect guess.
Yeah, Wedge the Jedi was way off. It's cool though. Yeah, Call of Duty. It's Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, man. People
It's
love
going to
it.
be on this list every single year.
Yeah,
Every
it is.
week of every year.
52 weeks out of the year is Call of Duty.
Exactly. And number 1,
Obviously,
you can guess it. It is.
PUBG. We got a
Player
great
Knows.
segment
Gotta go.
coming up about that,
I'm so
and we're going to be
excited.
playing it later.
We're going to be playing it later. We're
got-
going to get a chicken dinner.
We got second place last week. You can check the VOD below.
Please don't check it out. It is really sad.
I loved it, but that one of our best moments
Yeah.
as a team. You
Yeah.
know, I just you went down and I saw that and I was like, my co-host, I can't go on without him.
That was the sweetest thing anybody's ever done for me. I really appreciate that.
That was a lot of fun,
yeah,
yeah.
so stay tuned because it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so let's move on to top 5 most played games.
Yep.
Here we go, number 5. This is
Number
you.
5, Rainbow Six Siege.
You're a big fan of it.
The greatest console shooter. There is nothing
Jeez,
better. It
what
is
a superlative.
It is so good.
Yeah.
You sounded so sarcastic.
Well,
when you
because
said
it's
that.
like that's high praise. The greatest
man.
console shooter ever.
I think it is, man. It's just
My
so tight.
God.
Audio, level design, competitive edge. It's pure skill to play that game. I have a soft place in my heart for that game.
All right.
And the one of the esports leagues is one of the few leagues that I actually really like watching. So
Okay, fair enough, fair
good.
enough. All right, so number 4, we have PlayerUnknown's Battleground. All
Nice.
right. Ooh, number 4 most
Game-
played. Interesting.
And it's in game preview. And it's
Well, yeah. I was thinking it might be higher. That's interesting.
still.
All right, but yeah, we're gonna be playing it later. Well, we just said that, obviously. Number 3, it's Grand Theft Auto 5.
I guess that is interesting that people are still playing GTA 5 more.
It's insane. This,
But that maybe if it was the full release, you'd see it higher.
I think that's true. Also, this game has been out since 2013, so like the amount of people who have the game is so high that
Insane.
it might be hard for PUBG to catch up for a while.
It's good. It's good.
Number 2,
Call of Duty World War II.
There we go.
What? That's back to back.
Back to back.
Yeah, doing well. And in at number 1 for the most played game, day in, day out, someone else in chat called it.
It's Fortnite.
Boom.
Battle Royale. Yeah, Fortnite Battle Royale. Before the PUBG came out, we were like, how is Fortnite gonna compete with PUBG? Is it gonna live up? Is it gonna keep at the top of the list? And yeah, it's up there.
But it helps
Most
that it's
played.
free. It does help that it's free.
Sure, it helps
But
that it's free, but if
great.
I don't know.
It's great. It's a great game.
Yeah.
That's the other difference. It is a fantastic game.
Yeah, and with the constant updates, they are just killing it. So look out for that new map, and they're planning some really awesome updates from what I hear. So that game is not going to go anywhere.
I don't think so, man.
I'm excited
Me
to
too.
see what happens.
Me too. All right, what else we got next? Oh, before we do the next list, let's give you guys a poll. What should we do next week, guys? What should we do next week?
What should we
We
do
have
next week?
games that should be made into movies,
Games that will never happen.
games that will never happen.
Yeah.
Games with multiple endings.
You
Best
said games that will never happen twice. Oh, you just like.
I was just
yeah.
I wasn't.
Never. I was like.
heard you.
Yeah, perfect. Vote. I don't know which one I'm gonna vote for.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
God, hold on,
vote
let me
for.
pick, guys.
I'm not gonna tell you. I want it to be a surprise. I hope the one that I pick wins.
I'm a fan of movies, so I'm gonna vote for that one.
No.
I'm a fan
Ethan,
of the
I hate
the
movies.
medium of movies.
I hate movies.
I was telling everybody I watched like a 2.5-hour documentary on Steven Spielberg this weekend.
Ooh, how was
very
it?
good.
Was it good?
Very
Okay.
good,
I'm a big
yeah.
fan of documentaries, so I
Oh,
might.
really? Just check it out. You can really maybe you'll appreciate movies for once.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Sorry,
Oh, wow.
sorry.
All right. This is all you, man.
Okay, during the last show, you guys voted for this week's top 5, and you picked the best games of the 90s. Our list was huge. You should have seen the email thread, you guys. It was thick.
Bunch
with
of
2
games.
CDs.
So before we reveal them, let us know what you think is going to be number 1, and tell us how bad we screw up the list when you see what number 1 is. I think we have a good list. We'll see. I actually don't know what the.
I think it's good. I think it's good, but I think I'm interested to hear what you guys think
Yep.
when you see this list, and be sure to post in chat like your games, because this was hard to actually pick the top 5.
So hard.
And there were so many games that didn't make the top 5 that were phenomenal.
Right. It's a golden era in video games.
It was. The
90s
90s were unbelievable. The N64, like the Sega, like
So good. All right, let's check out number 5. It is StarCraft.
StarCraft.
There you go. Were you a StarCraft player?
I was, yes. So
Okay.
actually, I take that back. I wasn't, but my neighbor had it, and so I was
okay.
quite young. Well, when did StarCraft 1 come out? 98? I want to say 98, maybe earlier. But I was quite young when it came out, and I didn't have a computer. My neighbor did. And so I would go over and watch him play all the time, and I was always just like, this game's amazing. Look at the graphics,
Yeah.
you know? Like, it was
Beautiful.
good. Yeah, so it's a great game. It's great
I
art.
think
And
Puck
one of the best
Pilgrim
art
calls it out. Nerd alert, StarCraft.
Nerd
Wow,
alert.
that's offensive. Number 4 is Super Smash Brothers.
Oh yes, the original.
Wow,
Super
okay.
Smash Brothers. Does anyone remember? Because like you knew this was a time before everything was just openly on the internet. So did anyone remember when the first time that you saw a new challenger approaching in Super Smash Brothers, and you're like, oh my God, what does this mean? And I remember seeing like the silhouette of Luigi, and I think was it Kirby? Was it Luigi? No, it's Jigglypuff. It was Luigi, Jigglypuff, Captain Falcon, and Ness were the unlockable characters in the first one. And I just remember, it was so cool. So cool when you'd get one of those to appear.
I never got to play it. Oh, I'm
my
so
gosh.
sad.
Oh
I'm
my
so
gosh.
sad. I know.
So good. All right, moving on. We have Quake.
Quake. All right.
I mean,
Quake.
think about it. What it did for arena shooters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you remember who developed this game? I
Quake
can't
was
remember.
id Software.
id. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Oops.
id. Yeah. Did amazing things for the shooter
They
genre.
did.
That along with Doom and all those games really just
Wolfenstein.
so good.
Yeah, they really owned first-person shooters in the 90s and late 80s even, right? I think Wolfenstein. Whenever Wolfenstein
Yeah.
came out to now.
Yeah. All right,
Anyway.
number 2, I love it. This one I can agree with. It's Pokemon Red and Blue.
Pokemon
All
Red
right.
and Blue.
So
It's a lot-
exciting.
for a lot of you, it may have been one of the first games you got. For me, it was the first RPG I ever played.
Yeah.
Well, it was very much a light RPG. It was a good
People
one,
like to
man.
discredit that game as an RPG. What I will say
Not
is
true.
if you
It
chose
is.
anybody except Bulbasaur as your starting Pokemon, you were incorrect and wrong, and you should never play video games
Who
again.
picked Bulbasaur? Who picked? Yeah,
Because
seriously.
Bulbasaur didn't get enough love. You guys
picked,
are mean.
yeah, Bulbasaur was the easiest one to pick because he had the advantage against the first 2 gyms.
Yeah, but he was
dare
kind
you.
of like the ugliest, and so I feel like people didn't.
Oh, so you kind of felt bad for him.
yeah.
You could almost relate.
I was hoping that you would say that because I was going to say it if you didn't.
okay,
that I could relate. And number 1 for best games of the 90s is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, or
Yes.
Ocarina, depending how you want to say it. But there it is, Legend of Zelda, number 1.
Hey, Ocarina.
This was N64, one of the gems of N64.
So good.
N64 had a lot of gems. I'm surprised they
N64
didn't
was
do-
probably one of the best systems ever.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it was going right up against the PlayStation 1, which had the CDs, and so that's the reason why, graphically, the system was better, and
Yeah.
then it could just hold more space. The games
Lot
were more
going on.
advanced.
Yeah, but of course, there were games on this list we couldn't fit, like Tony Hawk was a good example. GoldenEye, another great example game we didn't put on here.
Cabby
We tried to
says-
keep it spread out,
Yeah, exactly. Cabby says GoldenEye. Let's see what else we have. We have
Yeah, that's a great example. Tony Hawk, I said that. What else,
Mortal
guys? What other
Kombat.
great 90s games?
Mortal Kombat.
Do we have an honorable mention up here, Tara? Ooh, let's show it. It's Diablo 1. Diablo. The cow level. Does anyone remember the cow level? Diablo was amazing. It was
Yeah.
another great example of the top-down that just completely changed. I don't know. Diablo is such a force now.
Yeah.
And Diablo 3, a lot of people didn't like when it first came out, but since the big updates and stuff, it is now amazing again.
Yeah,
Like,
I remember
love
watching my
Diablo 3.
cousins play that game, and I was so enthralled by them playing. It was unlike anything I'd ever
Good, man.
seen. Yeah.
It's really good.
All right, so
let's see,
poll
Mario
results are
Kart
in.
64.
Oh.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, go
Street
for it.
Fighter, Tekken, Final Fantasy. That was
Ooh.
another one. Like 7 could have been. Actually,
Ooh.
really any Final Fantasy could have been on there. They're all super good in the 90s.
So good.
Oh man.
Just a great
Age of
time for
Empires.
games.
It really was.
It was awesome. So thanks for putting those in chat. I love seeing these choices on best games of the 90s. So let's see what we're going to cover next week. Tabs, what is it going to be?
Games that will never happen.
Games that will never happen.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
So these are games that essentially, I think these aren't games that have been announced. These are games like maybe Half-Life 3?
Half-Life 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the
That's
meeting.
probably- yeah.
We'll get
That's right.
creative for this one. Sounds like a
Yeah.
fun list. I'm
Yeah.
excited. It'll be good.
All right, so next up, a segment we recorded literally before the show.
Yes, this was awesome. These guys came in for this talk, and this is basically here. It's a few tips for PUBG from the gentleman that made the controls for Xbox. Guys, you are gonna want to pay attention, especially if you're a beginner to PUBG. Let's check it out. Good to go. So I'm gonna introduce you guys Xbox Advanced Technology Group, Cameron and Lee, to talk to give you guys some tips on Xbox controls, and then I'll talk about you guys actually went out there, and then we'll go into the stuff. Good?
Yeah, that's good.
All right, cool. Everybody ready? All right, here we go. What's up, guys? I'm with Cameron and Lee here from the Xbox Advanced Technology Group. They're going to give you some tips on the Xbox controls, because I know some people have been having a little bit of trouble, but have no fear. These guys are here to help. And you guys actually got to go out to South Korea to work on the controls. Is that correct?
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, we originally got engaged with them to redo the controls for Gamescom.
Okay.
Because their controller config wasn't optimal, just even for the PC version. And then from there, the work that we had done, they were so happy and impressed with the work that we had done, they flew me out there to actually work with the UX team and go over the controller schemes, which Cameron and we worked on here locally, and then brought that recommendation to them.
That's awesome. And they had never worked on a console game, right? So it was kind of
they're
new.
strictly PC. So
Yeah.
this console understanding and trying to figure out how to actually map all of those controls on the PC to a controller was quite a challenge.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things that we held dear to us is not to try to dumb down the game and try to keep all of the main features of the PC on the controller.
Yeah.
So it was a challenge.
Of course. There's a lot of controls.
There was,
Yeah.
but we figure we worked through it, and we worked through it with the team, and they had a little bit of recommendations back and forth. But basically, the controller setup that you see on the Xbox now is what we came up in Korea.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know, as a beginner, it can be a little overwhelming. We mentioned a little bit before that there are a ton of controls, and they can be overwhelming for someone who's new to it. But after a few hours, you can really get the hang of it. But Cameron, I'm excited. I know you wrote down some tips for us.
Yes,
because
I did.
you're the master. I mean, you worked at the controls. So I'm really excited to hear what you have to say about it and what kind of help you can offer our
Great.
viewers.
I'm always trying to improve my game as well, but as I was going through and playing with some of my friends, I realized that we built a lot of really cool shortcuts and things in the controller, especially for the UI and looting for the Xbox, because we wanted to make it fun, fast, and familiar. We didn't want to, as Lee said, dumb it down at all.
Sure.
But there are some really good tips on what you can use on Xbox to make your looting and grabbing and management of your inventory a lot faster.
Ooh, yes.
So first off, we want to specifically say that when we did this, the control scheme for the inventory was one of the toughest challenges we had. So we wanted to make sure that the game was familiar, but also the same button presses from different menus and things like that also stayed the same. So you should know that whenever you press X to interact with an item, it'll always go to your inventory.
Okay.
Whether you're out in the world, you highlight something and
it
it
up.
gives you the item to pick it up.
Yep.
That'll go into your inventory. Whether it's an attachment, if it's a weapon, it will automatically swap or go in.
Got it. So X inventory.
Yes, exactly. Now, when you open the inventory menu to pick stuff up like ammo, it's still X. We didn't want to change the context of that. But when you use the A button is to use or swap immediately. So if you see an attachment on the ground, you can open up your inventory menu, or if it's in your inventory already, and you press A, it'll highlight which fields it can go into on whichever weapons. Maybe it can fit on all of them.
Yeah.
And then pressing A again confirms once you've selected the slot. But the tip is you can always just double tap quick A, and it will automatically go to the first weapon it can fit on with the default focus on whichever weapon you're actually holding.
Got it.
So if you are switching from a red dot and you need a scope right away, go ahead and select that scope, in your inventory and just double tap A, it should go to the weapon that you already have if that 8X can already go on that weapon.
Nice.
So just really quick learning that muscle memory.
Right.
But some other good tips that we have is when you are interacting with the world, you want to know when is it appropriate to loot from the world, just highlighting something and pressing X, versus opening the inventory menu and going from there. Now, the fastest way to loot something is always with pressing X. You know, if you walk up to it and you're able to highlight it, you just press X and grab it. If it's a weapon, it will go into your inventory if you have an open slot, or you can quick switch a weapon because it will always swap with whatever weapon you are currently holding.
Okay, so that double-barreled shotgun, hold on to that to pick up the sniper rifle, drop the shotgun.
Exactly. I've got a video of that, so if we can go to that right here.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so here I am in a game where I actually was playing, and I have a shotgun, but I see the sniper rifle. So I quickly just swap to my shotgun, tap X to pick up the sniper rifle, pick up the ammo, reload it, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
I didn't have to open the inventory, didn't have to scroll between menus at all. I just knew I don't care about what's on the shotgun and the attachments. I'm just going to get rid of this and just quick swapped it out.
It's a perfect beginner tip because I see a lot of the bunnies out there just standing over a gun for like 5 minutes. It's just easy headshot, baby. You know what I mean? So the faster you can do this, the better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's another great tip, though, that I'll throw in here is we also made sure that you can always move with the left thumbstick. So if you're in managing the inventory or you're looting someone, you can still kind of circle around a little bit and at least move. Make it a little bit harder if somebody's beating in.
Exactly, because you're gonna. Odds are they'll hit you in the body instead of the head at least, or something. You know.
And that goes back to like one of the things that we were saying is we wanted to keep all of the core features what made PUBG so successful in the PC on the console. So when we were designing the inventory system, that was the biggest kind of
struggle. Maybe it was.
It was just like kind of. I'm trying to think of the word.
Challenge, hurdle.
All of those make sense.
But anyways, it was a curveball. That's it.
Yeah.
So it was one of those curveballs because everybody, when you the natural design for controllers is using your left stick to navigate or your D-pad.
Right.
And that was one of the things that we had to reserve. Because you're moving around in the world,
right? And
we don't want to suddenly swap that to something else,
right? Exactly.
So that's why the inventory might feel a little bit clunky at first, or a little bit challenging, because your natural reflexes are to use the left stick to navigate. So it's usually people use the D-pad or the right stick.
But at the end of the day, it does make sense in line with the game, and it's like one of those little things that I think people will overcome as they play, right? Yeah,
exactly.
That's a good example. But you guys have more tips, right?
Yes, that actually leads into the next tips we want to talk about, because one of the things that people want to do is they're always looking to upgrade their weapons. You might have, the SCAR, but you really like the M4. Okay, or you're going from the AK to something else. So what you want to do is you want to keep all your attachments usually, because most of them swap between them.
Right.
So that can be a difficult task of going over, doing, unloading everything, swapping. So here's a few tips on how to make that a lot faster. One of the shortcuts that we built in for the Xbox version that's not in the PC version is you can hold X or hold Y to completely strip a weapon. And depending on which button you use, it will either go to your bag.
Yeah.
Again, X always goes into the bag.
X always the inventory.
Yes. And Y will always drop. So hold Y will strip a weapon and drop everything to the ground. So in this example, in this video, I'm going to show you how I swap over from an AKM that I have, but I find an M4, and I really want that.
All right, let's take a look.
So as I go in here, I see the M4, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up, tab over to my AK, and I'm going to hold X. Now, all of those attachments now go into my inventory. I didn't lose them.
Yeah.
Now I can go over, quickly tap the M4, grab all the ammo, and then I'm just going down and double tapping A because that's the weapon I'm holding, and that's the default one, so all those attachments go right to it.
It's quick looting.
Exactly.
Especially for the Xbox. That's
so
great.
I'm in and out. Exactly. Now, there's another example of another video where maybe you don't have enough room in your bag for all those attachments to fit, okay? You could be overloaded with meds or ammo or whatever, however your play style is. So you might have to strip to the ground, which is always available because you can always drop stuff.
Yep.
So here's that same scenario, but using the strip to ground holding the Y button. So here's my M4. I quickly tab over to my AK, hold Y. Now all of the attachments are in the vicinity. So I'm going to stand there, I'm going to swap to the M4, and then just double tap down the list to grab all those attachments, and then I'm out of there.
Perfect.
Took about the same amount of time.
Yeah.
But there is advantages to using the hold X to strip to your bag over hold Y. One is if you're looting on the run, or you're not in safe cover, you know, you just took out somebody and you want their stuff, but they're out in the middle of a field, you want to get in there and out as fast as possible. And stripping to the ground and then having to go through your inventory and do all that is going to take a lot longer.
Those seconds matter.
Exactly. So here's my final example of swapping a weapon, and some quick tips about that is I'm going to go in, and this time I've made sure that I have enough room in my bag. So I first off put all the attachments into my bag, grab the M4, and then I'm not going to attach them right now. I'm going to start moving. Maybe the circle's coming, or I've got enemies on my tail.
Right.
Now that I'm running forward, because again, we can use the left thumbstick to always move, now I'm navigating the inventory menu with the right thumbstick. We purposefully put that in there. So if you're driving or running, you can go up and down, and then I'm just quick tapping A through that list, getting all my attachments on.
While you're on the move towards the circle.
Exactly.
Perfect, yeah.
And you can even go faster than what I did in this video, because you can start a reload to your weapon, and while your weapon is reloading, you can throw on attachments in the inventory. So there's another, just even save a few more seconds.
So just to reiterate, X always to inventory, Y always to ground, and you can, the right stick when you're moving can navigate your inventory.
Exactly, can help you with that. So
perfect.
You know, if you're driving in a buggy or something.
And A to use and attach.
Right, A to use and attach. That's perfect. So and double tap to the weapon that you have in your hands, correct? Or the first thing that it can attach to.
Yes.
Right. Perfect.
Now let's see this in a really good one. I think you're going to lead into.
No, I'm excited,
Okay,
but yeah,
great.
you can do this. It's
So
perfect.
this video right here is, I was actually playing, so this is real, this is not set up, but I was running and I noticed a crate drop from a distance, but it was kind of remote, so I didn't think anyone was there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a plan. I know it's probably an upgrade versus something I already have. So I actually stripped both my weapons because I know I'm going to get rid of one.
But you don't know what's in there.
Exactly. So I
behold.
find out it's the M249. I quickly swap my M16 for it. Now as I'm running to cover, I'm attaching all my attachments back to my weapons. And as I do so, I notice that over here to the left comes a buggy. Now, if I had been just delayed any few seconds there at the crate, he would have seen me, maybe ran me over.
Right.
But instead, he completely missed me. Now I have an opportunity to pull out my sniper rifle, and I actually get a few shots on him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I missed the headshot.
Hey, man, you can't win them all.
But, you know, he does run off. But see, even though I stripped all my weapons, when I got to the crate, from the time that I was at the crate to the time I left, less than 4 seconds.
Unbelievable.
So that's another benefit to stripping your weapon or all the attachments into your bag and making sure that there's room. You can even go faster. If you know there's a weapon that you don't want, maybe you don't want a shotgun, you would prefer a sniper or anything that comes in the crate, just go ahead and tap Y, just drop that weapon completely. There's an open slot. You run up to the crate and just tap X. And it'll pull everything in.
Perfect.
And there you go.
There you go.
Super quick.
Yeah, these are great. These were great tips to help shave seconds off everyone's time, and hopefully you guys learned a little bit from that. Cameron, Lee, thank you guys so much. This has been amazing. Awesome. Really appreciate having you guys on, and honestly, you've done a great job with the amount of things you have to do in PUBG. I think it's great, and once you get past that learning curve, it is smooth as butter.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thanks.
We
again.
have to really give the credit to the PUBG team. We love working with them. They're very hardworking, as we've seen with the updates and addressing even the controller feedback from the community.
Yeah.
And they're awesome. We love working with them, and we love playing PUBG and seeing everyone else enjoy it too.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks again, guys, and let's head back to the live show. Shout out to Scott, making me look like a complete idiot. Thank you.
That was awesome.
Funny. That was super funny.
I love that.
It was good.
No, it actually was good. because we've seen some gifs of me preparing for a segment, and they're ridiculous. That was really tame compared to me.
Oh, well, I always do that. I was like, all right, so we're going to do this, this, and this, and this. So thanks, Scott. So now you know how I prepare for a segment. For the sake of time, of course, we're going to be jumping into some PUBG ourselves. We got second last week. I want to see if we can get that first, but we're also trying maybe type B control, so we might do very bad. But let's move on to a little intimate section of the show.
That's right. It's time for the best part of the show, where we open our hearts and let the love shine across Mixer. I messed up my line. I'm sad.
That's fine.
It's time for 3 streams to watch. Cue that music.
Cue it, Scott.
Sweet, nasty music. I don't know why I said that.
Sweet, sweet, nasty music. There it is.
Ah, there we go.
All right. I'll take the first one. We're starting off things with Mixtifer. Mixer partner Mixtifer has been streaming an endless variety of games for the better part of a decade. Besides his gut-busting comedy, Mixtifer entertains the masses with his signature Mixerthons, in which he plays a game series in its entirety while in costume as one of the game's characters. Wow, that is crazy. Actually, I knew that. I was his partner manager. Nice. He completed series such as The Legend of Zelda, Resident Evil, BioShock, Metal Gear Solid, Uncharted, Batman, and Metroid. He's currently completing the Halo series with many more Mixerthons to come. He also won the lottery when it comes to names, because he started on Beam, and then I got to tell him, hey, we're changing the name to Mixer and Mixtifer, right? Can you believe that?
Nice.
Anyway, moving on, he's also part of the Cosmo Canyon stream team and streams at least 5 days a week using usually during US daytime hours, so be sure to stop by and give him a follow at mixer.com/Mixtifer. It's like Christopher, but with Mix instead of Chris. And see what you're missing.
There we go. Next up, we have Taste. Taste is a passionate and energetic variety streamer from Perth, Australia. I'm so jealous. I love Australia. He started gaming when he was just 3 years old, playing Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. He plays platformers, first-person shooters, and anything that makes for some good competition. Taste started on Mixer about 6 months ago and has been dishing out chicken dinners and good laughs ever since. You can catch him every day except Sunday, starting at 4 p.m. Pacific on mixer.com/taste with a 7 as a T. TAS. 7E.
Yeah,
sorry, that tripped me up.
No, you're good. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Now, because we haven't used enough puns this game or this show,
episode, yeah.
Adapt or Die Trying is the game. Insane is the name.
Ooh,
Insane
beautiful.
has been gaming since he could hold a controller and hasn't slowed down over his 32 years of youth. Ooh. Oh my goodness, 32.
Who wrote this?
Who wrote this? Although he streamed for a few years on Twitch, he switched to Mixer less than 2 months ago, mostly playing PUBG. He's adapting well and seeing insane growth on the channel. So shout out to you, man. That's awesome. He's not, he's not often more than an arm's reach away from his adorable baby boy Lyric, and usually lets him get some screen time for the viewers at home. You can check him out Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 8 p.m. Mountain Time at mixer.com/AOD_I. Insane? Is that right? I want to make sure that's right. That is a tough URL.
Yeah, AOD _
Perfect. Yep.
yeah.
I insane. I want to make sure I said that right. And you might find an excellent Mixer channel and a place to call home. He is a monster at PUBG, by the way.
Nice. What a beard. And those were 3 streams to watch. Very good. Very good.
We have really good streamers this week.
Yeah. That beard was fantastic.
And Taste Hair, beautiful.
Yeah.
My God, what product do you use?
Such beautiful people on Mixer, man.